Gentlemen, here's a question that might hit harder than you expect. What if I told you that something you're consuming on a regular basis is silently making you weaker, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too? I'm talking about pornography. It might feel harmless in the moment, a way to release some tension, but what you don't realize is the long-term damage it's doing to your body, your mind, and your overall potential. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the most obvious issue. Porn distorts your view of sex. In the real world, sex is about connection, intimacy, trust, and vulnerability. But when you watch porn, you're being bombarded with unrealistic portrayals of sex that are purely physical, often degrading, overly aggressive, or far from the natural intimacy we should be experiencing with a partner. The problem is this distorts your expectations. It teaches you that real intimacy is supposed to be instant gratification, with no emotional or physical connection. But that's simply not how human relationships work. When your brain starts associating sex with instant, overstimulated visuals, you'll have a much harder time being present with your real-life partner. It can even cause performance anxiety, as you begin comparing real experiences to the unrealistic fantasies that porn presents. The result? Dissatisfaction in your relationships, and often, a lack of genuine connection. Relearn what true intimacy is by shifting your focus from purely physical acts to building emotional and physical connections with real partners. Start having conversations about what feels good, be vulnerable, and truly listen to one another. Focus on quality, not quantity. This might be the most alarming consequence of all. Porn ruins your mental health. There's a powerful link between excessive pornography consumption and increased rates of anxiety, depression, and even loneliness. Why? Because porn overstimulates your brain, releasing large amounts of dopamine, your feel-good chemical. In the short term, this feels amazing, but the problem is, your brain starts to become dependent on these constant dopamine hits. It's like a drug addiction. When you start relying on porn to feel good, your brain no longer knows how to find satisfaction in everyday life. You start to feel isolated from the real world. You might feel like you're stuck in a loop where nothing brings you joy anymore, except that one thing. You might lose interest in hobbies, your job, or even real relationships. This emotional numbness takes a toll on your mental health, leading to depression, anxiety, and a general lack of fulfillment. Taking a break from porn and refocusing your attention on real-world experiences is the key here. Start by engaging in activities that stimulate your brain in a healthier way. Exercise, creative hobbies, or learning new skills. The more you invest in your real-life experiences, the less you'll need those artificial dopamine hits. Another undeniable reality of porn addiction is that it can lead to erectile dysfunction, ED. You might think that porn is just harmless fun, but over time it can change how your body responds to sexual stimuli. It's called porn-induced erectile dysfunction, PIED, and it's a growing problem among men. When you watch porn excessively, your brain becomes conditioned to expect high levels of stimulation. This makes it more difficult for you to become aroused by real-life situations. In short, your body becomes desensitized to normal sexual experiences, and you struggle to perform when it matters most. ED can have devastating effects on your confidence, your relationships, and your mental health. It's a vicious cycle. The more you rely on porn, the harder it becomes to perform without it, and the more you feel inadequate. If you're dealing with PID, the solution is simple but not easy. Stop watching porn. Allow your brain to reset and relearn how to be stimulated by real interactions. Focus on building intimacy and connection with your partner. Over time, your performance will improve and your confidence will return. One of the most insidious effects of porn is how it hijacks your motivation. When you're constantly turning to porn for instant pleasure, you're training your brain to avoid real-world challenges that require effort and discipline. Porn, like other forms of addiction, creates a cycle of instant gratification. You watch a video, get that dopamine hit, and feel good immediately. But when it comes to real-life accomplishments like working on your career, building relationships, or achieving personal goals, you're forced to put in the hard work and wait for the results. This effort-reward gap can feel unbearable if you're used to the instant gratification porn provides. Over time, this can leave you feeling unmotivated, lazy, and disengaged with the things that matter most. You may find yourself procrastinating, neglecting responsibilities, and avoiding long-term projects that require focus and dedication. Rebuild your motivation by learning to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. Set small, achievable goals that don't rely on instant gratification. Gradually, you'll find that real-life success feels just as rewarding, if not more so, than the fleeting pleasure of porn. Here's a harsh reality. Porn affects your self-esteem, and not in a good way. When you consume porn regularly, you're constantly being exposed to highly edited, unrealistic portrayals of lovemaking and bodies. These images create a distorted sense of what's normal or attractive. You might begin to feel inadequate or insecure about your own body or sexual performance. Porn teaches you to compare yourself to these impossible ideals, and when you inevitably don't measure up, it can lead to feelings of shame and low self-worth. The key here is self-acceptance. Start by embracing your body as it is. Focus on self-improvement through physical activity, but avoid comparing yourself to the unrealistic portrayals in porn. Real confidence comes from self-love and acceptance, not from trying to match an impossible standard. If there's one thing I've noticed with men who struggle with porn, it's that it neglects real relationships. Porn provides a fantasy that, while stimulating in the moment, takes away from the deep emotional and physical connection you can experience with a real partner. You may start to prefer the solo stimulation of porn over the intimacy of shared moments. When this becomes a habit, your real relationships begin to suffer. You become disconnected from your partner and stop prioritizing meaningful emotional connection. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. Make a conscious effort to engage in your real relationships. Put down the phone, turn off the screen, and spend time nurturing the emotional and physical bond with your partner. Real intimacy comes from trust, vulnerability, and communication, not from pixels on a screen. Gentlemen, pornography is one of the most powerful, silent forces that can weaken you physically, mentally, and emotionally. The more you rely on it, the further you drift from the man you were meant to be. But here's the good news. You have the power to change. Start by recognizing how porn is affecting your life. Take a break, reset your mind, and refocus on real experiences. Reconnect with the things that matter: intimacy, self-improvement, and meaningful relationships. By cutting porn out of your life, you're not just stopping a bad habit, you're reclaiming your strength and building a foundation for a more fulfilling, powerful, and confident version of yourself. This isn't about guilt or shame. This is about taking control of your life. You have the ability to overcome this. It's time to put in the effort, to stop relying on fleeting pleasures, and to start building a real, lasting sense of fulfillment. The more you invest in yourself, your health, and your relationships, the stronger you will become. I know it's not always easy. Breaking free from something that has such a strong grip on your brain can feel overwhelming. But trust me, the benefits are worth it. Your mental clarity, your emotional stability, your physical health, and your self-confidence will all improve as you take back your power. So I challenge you right now to take that first step. Whether it's reducing your consumption, going cold turkey for a while, or simply becoming more aware of how it impacts your daily life, make a choice today to start living without porn. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who might need this message, and subscribe to The Modern Man's Guide for more advice on how to level up your health, relationships, and mindset. And before you go, make sure to check out my video on how to master focus in a distracted world. It's the perfect follow-up to this conversation, helping you train your mind to stay sharp and focused. Remember, strength isn't just physical. It's about your mindset, your habits, and the choices you make every day. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next one.